Here's something that's going to blow your mind. Right now, at this very moment, there's a tiny hormone being produced by your fat cells that's deciding whether you're going to lose that stubborn weight or keep storing it. And here's the kicker. 90% of people struggling with obesity have the exact same problem with this hormone. It's not about willpower. It's not about discipline. It's about Let me share something that changed everything I thought I knew about fitness. I used to believe weight loss was simple math. Calories in versus calories out. Eat less, move more, lose weight. But then I discovered the research that's been published just this year, in 2025, and it completely shattered that oversimplified view. This isn't medical advice, by the way. I'm bringing you educational information that every person serious about fitness needs to understand. Because without this knowledge, you're basically fighting your own biology with your hands tied behind your back. So what exactly is leptin? Think of it as your body's fuel gauge. Your fat cells produce this hormone, and it travels through your bloodstream to your brain, specifically to your hypothalamus. When everything's working correctly, leptin tells your brain, hey, we've got enough energy stored. You can stop being hungry now. You can burn calories freely. It's basically your body's natural appetite suppressant and metabolism regulator rolled into one. Sounds perfect, right? Here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Recent research from March 2025 discovered something shocking. Scientists found that in lean, healthy people, this leptin signaling works beautifully. Fat cells produce leptin. The brain receives the message, appetite decreases, and metabolism stays strong. But in 90% of obesity cases, something goes terribly wrong. It's called leptin resistance, and it's probably the most important thing you've never heard of. Here's what happens. Your body produces leptin, lots of it actually. Obese individuals often have extremely high levels of leptin circulating in their blood. But here's the cruel twist. Their brain can't hear the signal. It's like your fat cells are screaming, we're full, stop eating. But your brain has noise-canceling headphones on. Let me put this in perspective with actual numbers. Studies published in recent years show that obese patients can have leptin levels of 28 or higher, while non-obese individuals average around 9. That's more than 3 times higher. You'd think with all that leptin floating around, these individuals would have zero appetite and be burning through calories like crazy. But the opposite happens. When your brain can't detect leptin, it thinks you're starving, even if you're carrying excess body fat. Even if you just ate a full meal, your brain perceives an energy crisis that doesn't exist. So what does it do? It cranks up your hunger. It slows down your metabolism. It makes you tired so you'll conserve energy. It's basically triggering a famine response when you're sitting in a land of abundance. This explains so much that traditional fitness advice gets wrong. You know that person who says they can't lose weight no matter what they try? They're probably not lying. They're probably not lacking willpower. They're fighting leptin resistance. Their body is biochemically programmed to defend their current weight, and every diet attempt is met with a biological countermeasure. And here's something that'll really frustrate you. When you lose weight through traditional dieting, your leptin levels drop. Sounds good, right? Wrong. Lower leptin levels during weight loss signal your hypothalamus to increase hunger, decrease energy expenditure, and promote weight regain. It's like your body has a weight set point that it defends aggressively. This is why so many diets fail. This is why 95% of people who lose significant weight gain it back within a few years. They're not weak. They're fighting a hormonal system that's working against them. Your body literally doesn't want you to maintain that weight loss because it interprets it as a threat to survival. But wait, there's actually some incredible news coming out of the latest research. Scientists at Rockefeller University published groundbreaking findings in early 2025. They discovered not just what causes leptin resistance, but potentially how to reverse it. This could be game-changing for millions of people worldwide who've been struggling with their weight despite their best efforts. The research showed that worldwide obesity rates have more than doubled since 1990, with nearly 1 billion people now classified as obese. And again, that 90% figure keeps coming up. 90% of obesity cases involve leptin resistance. This isn't a small subset. This is the overwhelming majority. If you're struggling with weight, there's a 9 in 10 chance this hormone is at the center of your struggle. Now, let's talk about what actually happens when you develop leptin resistance. It's not just about appetite and metabolism. The effects cascade through your entire system. Your body starts storing more fat, especially visceral fat around your organs. Your insulin sensitivity decreases, raising your risk for type 2 diabetes. Your triglyceride levels increase. Your blood pressure can rise. Chronic inflammation sets in throughout your body. For women, leptin resistance can disrupt reproductive hormones and menstrual cycles. For men, it can affect testosterone production. It impacts your sleep quality, which further worsens the problem because poor sleep increases leptin resistance. It becomes a vicious cycle where each symptom makes the others worse. And here's what really frustrates me about conventional fitness advice. How many times have you heard just eat less and exercise more? But if your brain thinks you're starving because of leptin resistance, eating less triggers even stronger biological responses. Your metabolism slows down more aggressively. Your hunger becomes more intense. Your body breaks down muscle tissue to preserve fat stores because it thinks food scarcity is the problem. Exercise becomes harder too, not because you're lazy, but because leptin resistance affects your energy levels. Your body is literally conserving energy. That fatigue you feel, that's not weakness. That's your hypothalamus reducing your energy expenditure because it thinks you need to survive a famine. Now, I want to be crystal clear about something. This doesn't mean fitness is impossible. It doesn't mean you should give up. What it means is that we need to approach fitness with this knowledge. We need strategies that work with our hormones, not against them. Understanding leptin resistance changes everything about how we should think about weight loss and fitness. Recent clinical studies from October 2024 showed something fascinating. In conditions of energy deficiency, when people have genuinely low leptin levels, not resistance, leptin replacement therapy works incredibly well. It reduces appetite, helps with weight loss, improves triglyceride levels, fixes insulin resistance, and restores normal hormone function. This proves that when leptin signaling works correctly, it's an incredibly powerful tool for maintaining healthy body composition. The problem isn't leptin itself. The problem is that most people with excess weight have too much leptin, and their body has stopped responding to it. It's similar to insulin resistance in type 2 diabetes. Your body produces insulin, lots of it, but your cells stop responding effectively. Same concept with leptin resistance. So what causes leptin resistance in the first place? Scientists are still piecing together all the factors, but several major culprits have been identified. Chronic inflammation is a huge one. When your body is in a constant state of low-grade inflammation, it interferes with leptin signaling pathways. And guess what causes inflammation? Excess body fat, especially visceral fat, so it becomes a self-perpetuating cycle. High triglyceride levels also interfere with leptin's ability to cross the blood-brain barrier. If leptin can't get to your hypothalamus, it can't do its job. And what raises triglycerides? Excess carbohydrate intake, especially refined sugars and processed foods. Another vicious cycle, stress and elevated cortisol levels worsen leptin resistance. Lack of sleep disrupts leptin signaling. Certain dietary patterns, particularly those high in processed foods and added sugars, promote leptin resistance. Even your gut bacteria play a role. An unhealthy microbiome can contribute to the inflammation that drives leptin resistance. Here's what's really interesting though. Recent studies looked at exercise and leptin levels, and the results were surprising. Short-term exercise programs, even 4-day intensive programs, didn't significantly change leptin levels in young overweight men. This tells us something important. Leptin resistance isn't something you can fix with a quick workout program or a week of dieting. This is a systemic issue that requires a comprehensive approach. It's not about finding one magic solution. It's about addressing multiple factors simultaneously, reducing inflammation, improving insulin sensitivity, managing stress, optimizing sleep, healing your gut microbiome, and yes, appropriate exercise and nutrition. But here's where it gets really exciting. That research from early 2025 I mentioned earlier. Scientists discovered they could restore leptin sensitivity in mice, leading to significant weight loss. They identified specific mechanisms that cause leptin resistance and found ways to reverse them. While this research is still in animal models and needs to be confirmed in humans, it represents real hope. There's also fascinating research on combining leptin with other hormones. A December 2024 study showed that molecules targeting neurons with both GLP-1 receptors and leptin receptors produced more weight loss in mice than either hormone alone. This could explain why GLP-1 medications like the ones you've probably heard about in the news are so effective. They might be working partially through leptin pathways. Now, I know what you're thinking. If leptin resistance is so common and so powerful, is there anything I can actually do right now? The answer is absolutely yes. While we're waiting for targeted leptin resistance medications to be developed, there are evidence-based strategies you can implement. First, focus on reducing inflammation. This means prioritizing whole foods over processed ones. Increase your omega-3 fatty acid intake through fish, walnuts, or quality supplements. These have powerful anti-inflammatory effects. Load up on colorful vegetables and fruits rich in antioxidants. These compounds fight the oxidative stress that contributes to inflammation and leptin resistance. Second, manage your carbohydrate intake strategically. I'm not saying go zero carb, but be smart about it. Minimize refined sugars and processed carbohydrates that spike your blood sugar and triglycerides. Focus on complex carbohydrates from whole food sources. Time your carbohydrate intake around your workouts when your body is most insulin sensitive. Third, prioritize protein. High protein intake helps preserve muscle mass during weight loss, and muscle tissue is metabolically active. More muscle means better insulin sensitivity, which supports better leptin sensitivity. Protein is also the most satiating macronutrient, helping you feel fuller even when your leptin signaling isn't optimal. Fourth, fix your sleep. This is non-negotiable. Poor sleep is one of the fastest ways to worsen leptin resistance. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. Keep your bedroom cool and dark. Establish a consistent sleep schedule. Avoid screens before bedtime. If you're serious about fitness, you need to be equally serious about sleep. Fifth, manage stress. Chronic elevated cortisol levels interfere with leptin signaling and promote fat storage, especially around your midsection. Find stress management techniques that work for you. This could be meditation, yoga, time in nature, or hobbies you enjoy. This isn't optional or luxurious. This is fundamental to your hormonal health. Sixth, incorporate resistance training. While cardio has its place, resistance training is crucial for improving insulin sensitivity and building muscle mass. Both of these factors support better leptin sensitivity. You don't need to become a powerlifter, but you should be challenging your muscles regularly with progressive overload. Seventh, consider intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating. Some research suggests that giving your body extended periods without food can improve leptin sensitivity. This isn't about starving yourself, it's about allowing your hormonal system's time to reset and recover between meals. Eighth, support your gut health. Your microbiome influences inflammation levels throughout your body. Eat fermented foods like yogurt, kefir, sauerkraut, or kimchi. Consider a quality probiotic supplement. Include prebiotic fiber from vegetables, fruits, and whole grains to feed the beneficial bacteria. Ninth, stay hydrated. Proper hydration supports every cellular function in your body, including hormone signaling. Dehydration can increase cortisol levels and impair metabolic function. Aim for at least half your body weight in ounces of water daily. And 10th, be patient and consistent. Remember that leptin resistance didn't develop overnight, and it won't resolve overnight. This is about creating sustainable lifestyle changes that address the root causes, not quick fixes that provide temporary results. I want to emphasize again that I'm not giving medical advice here. If you suspect you have significant leptin resistance, work with a healthcare provider who understands metabolic hormones. They can order blood tests to check your leptin levels, insulin sensitivity, inflammation markers, and other relevant factors. But understanding leptin changes everything about how you approach fitness. It means that if you've been struggling despite doing everything right, you're not broken. You're not lacking discipline. You're dealing with a real biological phenomenon that affects the vast majority of people struggling with their weight. It also means that sustainable fitness isn't about fighting your body. It's about working with your biology. It's about creating conditions where your hormones can function optimally. When your leptin signaling works properly, maintaining a healthy weight becomes dramatically easier. Your appetite naturally moderates. Your energy levels improve. Your metabolism functions efficiently. This is why crash diets and extreme approaches often backfire. They might produce short-term results, but they wreck your hormonal signaling in the process. They increase leptin resistance. They slow your metabolism. They set you up for rebound weight gain that leaves you worse off than when you started. Real fitness, sustainable fitness, requires understanding and working with your hormones. It requires addressing inflammation, insulin resistance, stress, sleep, and all the factors that influence leptin sensitivity. It's more complex than calories in, calories out, but it's also more effective. And here's the really empowering part. Once you understand this, you can stop blaming yourself for struggles that were never really about willpower. You can start making strategic choices based on how your body actually works. You can be patient with yourself because you understand that reversing leptin resistance takes time. The fitness industry has sold us a lie that it's all about discipline and motivation. But science tells us it's really about biology and hormones. Yes, your choices matter. Yes, consistency matters. But understanding the biological systems you're working with matters even more. I'm genuinely excited about the research coming out right now. The discoveries about leptin resistance, the potential treatments being developed, the connections being made between different hormonal systems. We're on the verge of a real breakthrough in how we understand and treat obesity and metabolic dysfunction. But you don't have to wait for future treatments. You can start implementing the strategies we discussed today. You can start reducing inflammation. You can start improving your sleep. You can start making food choices that support rather than impair your leptin signaling. Small changes, consistently applied over time, can produce remarkable results. So here's what I want you to take away from this. Fitness actually requires working with your biology, not against it. It requires understanding hormones like leptin that control your appetite and metabolism. It requires addressing root causes like inflammation and insulin resistance, not just symptoms like excess weight. If you've been struggling with your fitness goals, I want you to know that it's probably not your fault. There's likely a biological explanation involving leptin or other hormones, but there's also hope. There are evidence-based strategies you can implement right now. and there's cutting-edge research happening that might provide even better solutions in the near future. Now I want to hear from you. Have you experienced the frustration of feeling constantly hungry even when trying to lose weight? Have traditional diet and exercise approaches failed you despite your best efforts? Do you recognize signs of leptin resistance in your own experience? Drop a comment below and share your story. And here's something specific I'd love to know. Which of the 10 strategies I mentioned are you going to implement first? Are you going to focus on improving your sleep, reducing inflammation through diet, starting resistance training? Let me know in the comments. Your experiences and insights help everyone in this community. Also, tell us where you're watching from, whether you're in New York, London, Mumbai, São Paulo, or anywhere else. I'd love to know. This fitness journey is global, and understanding leptin is crucial for people everywhere struggling with their weight and health. If this information was valuable to you, share this video with someone who's been struggling with their fitness goals. This could be the missing piece they need to finally understand why their previous attempts haven't worked and what they can actually do about it. And remember, this is educational information, not medical advice. Always consult with healthcare providers about your specific situation, especially if you're dealing with obesity or metabolic issues. They can provide personalized guidance and medical treatment if needed. The truth about leptin is both challenging and empowering. Challenging because it means fitness is more complex than we've been told. Empowering because it means you can stop blaming yourself and start implementing real solutions based on how your body actually works. Knowledge is power, and now you have knowledge that most people don't. Thanks for watching and for being part of a community that values real science-based information over fitness myths and quick fixes. We're all on this journey together, learning how to work with our bodies rather than against them. See you in the next video. Bye.